My boyfriend started ignoring me ever since I said no to him. Now he's changed completely. I, 17F, have been dating Robert, 18M, for about 5 months. We met through a mutual friend, but started becoming closer once he asked me for my number. I really like him, I'd even say love if it wasn't so early. He was my date to my school dance, he goes to a different school, and after the dance we went back to his house to just hang out. I changed out of my dress into sweats and a big shirt and just threw my dress over his desk chair. I went over to sit by him on his bed when he grabbed me and put me on top of his lap. We started kissing until he started to pull my shirt up. I've never been really into the idea of sex or anything more than kissing, probably because I'm a private person and just am, in my opinion, too young for that to interest me. I stopped kissing him and told him that I didn't want it to escalate, and he immediately got upset at me. I tried to say never mind and we could do it, but he just got an attitude with me and gave me the cold shoulder. He walked out of the room and left me sitting on the bed. He slammed the door as he left. I was confused because he's never tried to do anything like that or act like that. He was sitting in the living room and he texted me saying, "Leave," and I started to get all my stuff packed together. I got ready at his house. I was walking out the door when his mom asked why I was leaving, and I just told her my mom needed me home before it got too late. Like 10 minutes after I left, Robert called me asking where I went. I replied with, "You told me to leave," and he got mad saying, "I didn't mean it, you can't ever take a joke, come back." I said, it sounded serious, so I took it that way, and he hung up on me and has been ignoring me for 3 days. I asked our mutual friend if he's heard anything from him regarding me, and he said Robert was pissed he was never gonna be able to hit. I don't know why he would say that because he's never talked about me like that. Am I wrong here? What do I do? Edit. Thank you all for the advice. As of today, Robert did finally reply to me and just told me that he wants to talk in person. I'm going to go over to his house tomorrow to discuss whatever there is to discuss. I'm not 100% sure how to use Reddit since this is my first time, so I'll try my hardest to update correctly. It's okay if it's not right for you. Dump him and move on. He's just not the guy, and that's okay. He's putting his needs before yours and it's clearly emotionally underdeveloped. Unfortunately, that's of this age. You can do so much better. Thank you for this comment. I feel like some people are blaming me for not seeing the red flags, but like I said before, he's never been like this at all, so those red flags weren't existent before this. You are not in the wrong here. It sounds like he never even broached the subject with you before this. He wanted you, and when you rejected him he showed how big of a baby he is. Cut him loose and find someone worthy of you. We have never really talked about sex, but when it has been brought up I try to shut it down because like I said I'm not really into that. I thought by shutting down the idea when brought up would show him that I'm not really ready/into it. I probably should have elaborated more, but too late for that now I guess. Old guy says, sounds like trouble to me. I'd avoid being alone with him again. He can talk over the phone. Do you have a mom or an older sibling you can trust to talk to? I've talked to my older sister who is 24 about it and she told me the exact same thing all of you are saying. I only came to Reddit because I was feeling like I was in the wrong, and needed more than just my sister's opinion. She's never liked Robert, so maybe I thought she was biased. I understand now. This is a huge red flag to get out now. He is abusive and controlling. He's young and may grow out of it, but I doubt that he will. How do his parents interact? That will give you some answers as to how he is going to be with you. From what I've seen throughout these past 5 months, his parents are angels. His mom and dad act as if they are soulmates and would die if they lost each other. They have always been kind to me and my family, but I don't see things behind closed doors, so maybe it's all a front. Update. Hi everyone, this is an update to my post yesterday. I'd be lying if I said it went easy, and before I go into detail, please don't comment saying, "I told you so," because I most definitely do not want to hear that and 100% know who was right, but at the end of the day I made the decision to go over and end it, also to get my things back. I'm glad I went over, to further fully comprehend who he is, and if I could go back in time and do it again, I would. This will be a long update. I went over to his house at around 3, right after I got out of school, and brought our mutual friend with me. I explained my side of the story to him, and he's on my side and thinks it was disgusting of Robert to say that and act that way towards me. I wasn't too scared to go inside since I knew I had backup, as well as his parents being home. I replied to a comment saying I wouldn't have agreed to go if they weren't there. We both walked up to the door and knocked. Robert opened the door and gave our friend, I'll call him Quentin, a nasty look. Robert asked Quentin why he was with me. Quentin said he was there to make sure nothing happened. Robert invited us in, but kept the look on his face as Quentin walked in behind me. We went to his room where all my stuff was in a bag and Quentin sat next to me on the bed while Robert sat in his desk chair. Before I could start talking, Robert cut me off to say how sorry he was and that he didn't mean to make me uncomfortable. I wanted to think it was a sincere apology, but because of this whole situation, there was no way it could be sincere. I said, I know you've said you're sorry, but how do I know it won't happen again? I don't trust you anymore, and I can't be with someone I don't trust, and his face immediately changed. I stood up to grab my bag of stuff when Robert sprung up and pushed me back onto the bed to make me sit down. Quentin got up and told Robert not to start stuff he can't finish. Robert got in Quentin's face and started yelling random insults at him and accusing Quentin of being the reason why I decided to end it. I stood up and told Robert to back off and that he ruined this relationship the second he tried to pressure me into having sex with him. Robert shoved me, and that's when his dad came to the room. The yelling was loud enough for him to hear from the living room, and seeing that I was just shoved, his dad yelled his name. Robert turned to the door and was standing there like he did nothing wrong. His dad told me that he would take it from here, and to get all my stuff, and if I forgot anything to message him and he would return it. Quentin grabbed the bag while I thanked his dad, and we both left unscathed. I had a talk with his dad about what happened, and his dad basically chewed him out for how he treated me, and how that's not how you treat a woman. I thanked him again, because he de-escalated the situation by coming into the room. Yeah, I was shoved and Quentin was insulted, but the both of us agree that this is the best outcome. His dad basically saved Robert from being beat up in his own home by Quentin. Quentin is 6 feet 2 inches 250 pounds. I'm lucky enough that this was the outcome, and that I wasn't sexually assaulted or anything of the sort. Thank you all for the advice, and for those who called me as dumb as a doormat. This doormat left him. Robert is blocked, and both I and his father will not allow him to reach out regardless of the circumstance. I appreciate all the concerns and worries, but I will not be dating anyone until I heal from whatever BS this was. Thank you everyone.